Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Just a little frustrated here. That's why I'm making this video. I was trying to reset the iCloud account for my youngest daughter. I gave her, an old iPad of mine to use, and she never really used it. Um, she said she'd bring it back, to me, and I could just, reset it or whatever. But in the meantime, when she put in her password and her passcode and everything, she couldn't remember what that was, which is fine. I know kids use numerous different passcodes and everything, but so that's all fine. But then when she's on my family plan, her iCloud account was or is, and it frustrates me to no end that they don't make it easier to reset a password for a minor child. I went through the standard, forgot, password and everything, and it sent the code to her number, which I thought that was going to be the end of it. It was going to send a code to the phone number associated with her iCloud account. That would seem logical, but, instead of sending, after we typed in the 6-digit code to her account, instead of just taking you to a password reset screen, it said, okay, we'll email instructions to the iCloud account. Well, I can't get into the iCloud account, Apple. So how am I supposed to get in there and reset the password if I don't have access to it? It makes no sense whatsoever. So I ran through a couple different options. I said, okay, I do have access to the phone, so it did the code, 6-digit code, but I don't have access to the email. And then there was numerous different things that it did, but one of them was it showed the last 2 digits of my phone number. And so I assumed, since it was on the same account, it would send the instruction, or it would text the instructions to me on how to reset. As the parent on the Apple account, it would send me instructions on how to reset her password. But no, it didn't. It says it's going to take a few days or whatever. I mean, a few days, really? I'm doing everything they ask, and this isn't the first time I've had this problem. I had a friend whose I guess he had like a mobile home or an RV that he lived in, and it burned down. It caught on fire. His iPhone burnt up. His iPad that he had got burnt up in the fire, and he didn't have like an Apple laptop or anything. And so he got a new phone and got logged into it and everything. And then but he couldn't remember his password. I think the Apple store restored it or something. But basically, long story short, he couldn't remember the password to get back into it. So we went through this same process. This was 4 or 5 years ago. We went through the same process, and his whole life was on these devices. I mean, yes, he should have been more responsible. Maybe knew his password better or something. But when he did his password reset, he had a new phone again with the same phone number, and when it asked him to put in his phone number or whatever, the phone number associated to the iCloud account, it still would not. It texted him the code, but it wouldn't let him reset the password. Maybe there's reasons for it when it comes to hackers. Somebody's cloning the phone or doing something else. They don't. They want that added security, But so then I ended up getting into a big call with Apple support. I just got off of them with this problem too with my daughter's iPad, and there's nothing we can do. We can't do anything, and you got to wait for the account recovery. It can take anywhere from a day to 2 weeks or longer. My friend's took like 12 days, and his whole business and everything was put on hold for almost 2 weeks because of Apple, because they don't have a better automated process to reset your stuff. I mean, if they want added security, you could call in, tell them the last 4 digits of the credit card on the iCloud account. You can, verify, questions or whatever. There should be additional ways to verify the account, even if it's an automated process. I mean, you could automate putting in the last 4 digits of the credit card. Granted, somebody can know that, but if somebody steals all your crap and they have it all anyway, then they deserve to be able to get into it if you can't secure your stuff. But regardless, there needs to be a better way to do this without having to wait. And what does the waiting accomplish? Even if I was a bad guy and had access to that stuff, even waiting, I'm still going to get access if I go through the automated account recovery feature. and wait for a day or 2 or 3, 5 days, however long. So that's not really adding any additional levels of security. So Apple, come on, step it up. I have, with like Androids, I have like a G Suite account for the .com that I use, and I have numerous people on it who use that email address for many different things and everything, and I can go in there for them, and okay, forget your password, I can go reset it for them, as the admin of the domain, which I should be able to do because it's mine. It's my right. So I'm just angry. I'm just angry at Apple. I mean, I like Apple. I'm sort of people call me a fanboy because I love Apple so much. But this particular thing, this account recovery, iCloud password reset, and then not being able to use a device which is mine because of the iCloud activation lock, because I don't have that information. Now I can't use this until I can get her account reset and then get back into it so I can just unlock this so I can use it somewhere else. And this was used previously on my account, but even though there's record of that, electronic record of that in the system, they don't care. And then, and I told them, can you remove the iCloud activation lock without doing the account recovery? And they're like, oh yeah, you can, as long as you have the original receipt. Well, I got this like 7 years ago, and I bought it from a friend of mine. He unlocked it for me. He took off his activation lock, and I added it to my account. It's been on my account before I gave it to my daughter a couple months ago. It had been on my account for like 6 years. They should show record of that. I can give them the serial number. They can find the history and say, okay, yeah, I saw that it was on your account prior, and you're the one calling, so there's some verification and so on and so forth. Okay, yeah, we'll remove the activation lock. You can go ahead and use it on your own, on the account that it's already been used on in the past. Apple. Makes no sense. And then, these are the two stories my friend I talked about before, and then me with this. But, there was even another one where a friend of mine, his girlfriend gave him her old iPad. Again, she was an Android person primarily, but she had the iPad. She couldn't remember her stuff. Didn't have the original proof of purchase. Therefore, it's useless. It's completely useless. It was useless to him. He wanted me to try to take it home and hook it up to a computer and try to do like some kind of like jailbreak or hack. And I'm sure there's something out there that can flip that little flag or something. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways. I'd rather do it the legit way, through Apple. So yeah, if they can't do this, then I'm gonna hack it. I'm gonna put something else on it and see if there's like a way to like flash Ubuntu or something else onto it, screw iOS. And this doesn't even support the newest version of iOS anymore anyway. So if I can get something else on here, that'd be awesome. So Apple, big fan, but this whole process that I've been talking about, it's stupid. And there are better ways to do it. So get your act together. I've been a technology guy longer than most of you younger Apple people have been in technology, and I know there's a better way to do it, and you guys just need to think a little bit. Common sense, history of device. It's been on this other ID. That ID is the same one on the family account that the locked account's on. You guys need to think. Common sense. It's not that hard. So that's my little rant for the night. I don't do that very often, but it upsets me to no end that Apple has to do stuff like this to people. So, and I'm not the only one by far. I'm sure there's probably been hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that this is, well, considering how many iDevices out there's probably millions of people that this has happened to, and their device is bricked forever. So that's about it. I'm again ranting, so it's about 9.5 minutes in. So everybody have a good night, otherwise good weekend, and peace out.